Hi, David Clive here with Deed Ventures, and in this video we're going to look at two parcels that are 80 acres each, and I'm also offering them combined as 160 acres. So you can either choose to buy 160 acres or if you want a smaller piece, 80 acres, but they're continuous, so they're next to each other. Anyway, to figure out where they're at, I've zoomed out quite a bit here. They're about halfway between Las Vegas and Los Angeles in terms of distance. They're right about here. And so they're a little over 2 hours, they're 2.5 hours or so from Las Vegas, a little over 2.5 hours from Riverside, a little over 3 hours from LA or Anaheim, Disneyland, Orange County, about a little more than 2 hours from San Bernardino, a little more than an hour from Victorville, and 50 minutes or so from Barstow. So with that, let's check these out. And as you can see, I have other properties for sale. Here's one that's 160 acres that includes like a mountain. It's pretty cool. I have a few other properties also scattered in San Bernardino County, so please check my website if you're interested in adding more. So without further ado, let's zoom in here on these two. And as you can see, 160 acres combined, a nice long narrow strip. Well, it's not that narrow. And I mean, it's as wide as a 40-acre square would be. You just get 4 of them stacked. So one of the great things about this is that there is a dirt road that runs through both properties going north to south. So as you can see right here, there it is going up. And it goes up through this property as well. So if you're really into off-roading, this is a good spot if you, want to get out there, hit some sand. This is basically dirt with a little bit of sand and some, small brush. Not a lot of vegetation, but a little bit. And in order to kind of get a feel for how flat this is, or not flat, we can zoom out a bit here or tilt the screen, and there you go. So you're pretty close to some hills, but this property itself is fairly flat. And if you wanted to actually put something out here, you could put something here. You'd probably have a good view from right here looking toward the camera viewpoint, or out this direction. So yeah, there you go. If you want to see the views, we can drop this guy down on the property and get a feel for what that looks like. And this is kind of at one of the lower points in the property. So yeah, you get a pretty good view from here. See the mountains and stuff, and again, you've got that dirt road that runs through the property. So now that we're all dizzy, let's zoom back out. Yeah, so there it is, dirt road. And you can kind of take these little washes and ride on them as well. So yeah, plenty of space. You could make a track out here. You could, if you wanted to have a good camping spot or something, you do that. Or if you're just looking for land to, offset or reclamation or whatever, you could look at this parcel as well. It's going to be about as cheap as they come. And let's compare. So if we look at Zillow's listings for similar sized parcels, 100 acres or above, this is 160 combined. Here's what we get. The cheapest is one that's pretty close. In fact, it's probably the closest. It's not super comparable because it doesn't have, it's a little more hilly. It's got mountains in it. And I have another property that's kind of kitty corner to this where you can basically buy a small mountain, which is pretty cool. But most of the stuff you see here kind of applies. So, the land could be used for camping. and it's a nice undisturbed space. Anyway, if you're in need of mitigation land, this is probably the cheapest land you can find to do that with. So, or what I'm offering. So these guys have their property priced at $48,000. I don't know if it has any dirt roads to it. It may not. And from there, it just goes up. That's 160 acres, so it's comparable size to both of these lots combined, which would be a per lot price of $24,000 per lot, per 80 acres. This one's selling for $50,000 for 110, and yeah, it just kind of goes up from there. So generally speaking, I mean, on the low end, it looks like you're talking about $500 an acre on the low end for these types of properties. I'm selling way below that, so you know, great deal for the first person to snag it and buy it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can get all the contact info on my website, which I will link to. Also, you know, if you want to see the other properties, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can just look at videos on my channel for other properties I have for sale, some of which are similar and in San Bernardino County as well. I also pulled up LandWatch here just for kicks, so you can kind of see what some things are priced for on LandWatch that are smaller. So 80 acres, 25,000. 80 acres, 40,000. Let's change this to 100 acres to 200 to kind of get a feel for, well, 2,000 to kind of get a feel for what this would be like combined. And well, that's terms, so it's kind of hard to compare unless you multiply out 500 times 78. Let's see. That just gets you 39,000 plus the 10,000 down payment, so roughly 44,000-ish, if I'm doing my math right. 55,000, 80,000 for 160. So, so that kind of gives you a good feel for, you know, what the market prices are for these properties. As you can see, what I'm offering is a steal. Go to my website. You can see the price. You can buy the property. You can get my contact info to ask questions. And you can also find other great deals. So with that, hopefully you'll be a client or a customer of Deed Ventures soon, and thank you for watching. Bye.